Finally, The Rock came back to SmackDown in Denver to an all-time pop. He palled around with Pat McAfee, slapped Austin Theory around a bit, he played the hits, and did everything you'd expect a legend to do. Make a surprise appearance, wave to the crowd, cook up a little nostalgia pie, and most importantly, go home. Because now, motherfuckers are actually fantasy booking The Rock to return for WrestleMania 40 and face Roman Reigns for the actual undisputed WWE Universal title. When it comes to Dwayne headlining WrestleMania 40 against Roman Reigns, I smell what The Rock is cooking, and it smells like shit. We're going on at least 3 years now of The Rock hemming, hawing, and holding WWE hostage with whether or not he can fit them into his busy schedule. Watching The Rock decide whether or not he wants to come back to wrestle each year feels like listening to Dave Meltzer try to get through a sentence. Well, put it this way, I don't know. I could come back for Dallas, but, I don't know. I have a couple of movies to do in the Tokyo Dome in Japan, so, put it this way, the LA might work, but it might not, but for WrestleMania main event, put it this way, if I don't have any movie obligation, maybe I can do LA, maybe I can. I'm not saying I can headline LA, but I'm not saying I can't. But how about this? Put it this way, maybe I could headline Philly, depending on the writer's strike. This nigga's starting to sound like Dwayne Meltzer. There are so many contingencies about whether or not The Rock can come back, and as big of a star as The Rock is, WWE has outgrown him. He's simply a luxury at this point. It's 2023. This isn't 2013 where WWE's WrestleMania main event directly impacted its live gate or any of that shit. WWE's already sold over 92,000 tickets for a card where 0 matches have been announced. In other words, they set the live gate record without The Rock. WWE has hundreds of millions in Saudi money, billions in TV deals. WWE's ratings have been sky high without The Rock, and their TV money is gonna be even higher after the 2 biggest agents in Hollywood get done negotiating it. Speaking of which, Endeavor paid WWE $9 billion to create a $21 billion company. The Rock is a pebble to WWE's bottom line. I'll be the first to admit that The Rock headlining WrestleMania against Roman Reigns is its biggest match on paper. But Cody versus Roman is also a huge match, and one that can turn Cody Rhodes into the next Rock when he finishes the story. Let's go, Cody! Shoehorning The Rock into a WrestleMania main event is the type of shit that made WWE temporarily interesting in the 2010s. We just came off an entire generation where part-timers headlined WrestleMania for 11 years in a row. And you can argue we're still in that generation because Roman Reigns is a part-timer now. The Rock returning to WWE was great when WWE needed to hit the panic button, but The Rock and Roman isn't that much bigger than Cody versus Roman. Especially considering the actual story WWE has told its own fan base about Cody's chase for well over a year. At what point does WWE take hold of its own generation and stop sucking history's dick? Telling long-term stories with satisfying payoffs is the type of booking that led to record ratings for WWE, all while creating one massive star after another in Roman Reigns, Cody Rhodes, Sami Zayn, Jey Uso, and eventually Solo Sikoa. Now we're gonna throw all that disciplined storytelling away so that The Rock can wrestle one more match at his 50s? The f*** are we doing here? Are you stupid?
Now a word from our sponsors.
If you've ever thought to yourself, why the f*** is my fucking wireless bill so fucking high? Well then let me tell you about Mint Mobile, whom I'm partnering with in today's video. I'm sure you've heard about or seen Mint Mobile, those funny ads with Ryan Reynolds all green in the background. Yeah, he owns the company, but let me tell you how awesome their service really is. Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for as low as $15 per month. And you don't have to sacrifice any coverage, speed, or data. They're built on the nation's largest 5G network, so they can keep costs low because they sell directly to you. Cut out the middleman. Or woman or retail persons, everybody can get it. Why should you pay more than you have to access the same network? Click the link in my description or scan the QR code if you're interested in the best value in wireless. All Mint Mobile plans include unlimited nationwide talk and text, lightning fast 5G, and free mobile hotspot. Mint also has a super affordable family plan. My guys at Mint Mobile hooked me up with a free trial. It is the exact same internet for a much lower price. Switching to Mint Mobile is super easy thanks to the eSIM card. If your phone isn't eSIM compatible, not to worry, Mint Mobile will ship you a SIM card for free. It only takes 15 minutes to pay as low as $15 per month. Hell, it took me 10, and that's only because I stopped to check my fantasy team. Now, through the end of October, as part of a special limited time offer, you can get Mint Mobile for $15 per month. This service normally costs $30. Use my link to get started, click the link in the description, or even scan the QR code. It all helps my channel, and what helps my channel helps you. If you've already made the switch, tell me in the comments. In 2008, the legendary Brett Favre took my Green Bay Packers to the NFC Championship game. We don't got to talk about what happened in that game. That's besides the point. Anyway, Favre took the Packers to the doorstep of the Super Bowl, and all the while, Green Bay had developed Aaron Rodgers for years. Brett Favre coming back to the Packers that next season would have given us a better chance to win the Super Bowl. But Favre hemmed and hawed about whether or not he was going to retire, and the Packers made that decision for him. They threw him out of the locker room by his Wranglers, changed the locks, went with Aaron Rodgers, and enjoyed another 15 seasons of being perennial Super Bowl contenders. Here's another sports analogy for you. In 2023, Aaron Rodgers took the Packers to the doorstep of the playoffs. If Aaron Rodgers came back to Green Bay this season, it would have given the Packers a better chance to win a Super Bowl. But again, Green Bay decided to move on from Aaron Rodgers because they had already developed Jordan Love. They sent Rodgers to New York, making the star Jets an instant Super Bowl favorite, and Rodgers shredded up his Achilles 4 plays into the season. Meanwhile, Jordan Love has thrown 6 touchdowns in 2 games with no interceptions. No Packers quarterback has done that since Brett Favre. And there's a good likelihood that the Green Bay Packers will be a perennial contender for another 15 years. Because as much as Green Bay loves its history, they know when it's time to go all in on the future. People thought Pete Carroll was crazy when he traded Russell Wilson because Russell's such a big star. But like Green Bay, Seattle built a culture of winning. So when Geno friggin' Smith, who isn't as big of a star, stepped in, he became a Pro Bowler and took the Seahawks to the playoffs, no problem. Meanwhile, the star Broncos overpaid for Russell Wilson to the tune of over $200 million, and after 2 years in the Russell Wilson era, they're 0-2 again. It's okay, Denver. At least you got star power. WWE's developed Cody Rhodes into one of its biggest draws. Why are we still talking about The Rock? WWE needs to get its Green Bay Packer on and move on with the younger legend in the making. The Rock versus Roman is a big match, but it's a short-sighted one. Who's to say The Rock won't tear up an Achilles or all of his hamstrings 4 minutes into the WrestleMania main event? Especially after he got injured the last 2 times he came back to wrestle. And that was back in his 40s. We're seriously gonna be so greedy that we try to grab an extra $1 million at the expense of WWE's biggest babyface since John Cena? Are you stupid? In Cody Rhodes, WWE already has a babyface who's become a proven draw in every metric from TV ratings to merch sales to live event attendance. And WWE is just gonna cannibalize all that? They're gonna just bring back Brett Favre to start at quarterback midway through Aaron Rodgers' Super Bowl run? Nah, homie, that's that shit. It's one thing if WWE didn't drill into your brain that its top babyface, Cody Rhodes, needs to finish his story. Fans remain behind Cody's journey, but the last thing WWE needs right now is to turn that book into a Bible. Nothing kills a babyface faster than having him promise to win a big match and fail. If another year comes and goes where Cody Rhodes doesn't finish the story, WWE will turn Cody Rhodes into the bleached blonde boy who cried wolf. Cody's finish the story will be the new The Rock's coming back to WrestleMania this year, where it won't happen until years after it should have. It's not worth killing off a money-drawing babyface to give The Rock his swan song in a company that already set the live gate record without him. And don't tell me shit about the publicity The Rock would bring in. Do you see who's running WWE now? In addition to Vince McMahon, you got Ari Emanuel, Nick Khan, Mark Shapiro. If you don't know, you better ask somebody. Endeavor at the helm of WWE means more for WWE's publicity than a charismatic 51-year-old wrestler in either of his eyebrows ever will. You've got Walt Disney on your board of directors and you're splitting hairs over one Mickey Mouse? F out of here. Let's say The Rock comes back to headline WrestleMania 40 in his 50s. Roman Reigns winning is probably the right call, right? So Roman is a part-timer who defends that belt every 100 days. Reigns has done to that belt what The Rock is doing to WWE by holding it hostage to where WWE had to create a bronze medal belt. If Reigns beats The Rock at WrestleMania 40, Reigns goes off to Hollywood to make movies, continues to be a part-timer, and that WWE title will continue to be held up, defended only a few times a year. On the flip side, if The Rock beats Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40, The Rock will go off to Hollywood to continue to make movies, continue to be a part-timer, and the WWE title will continue to be held up, defended only a few times a year. All while killing Cody Rhodes dead as a babyface who can't keep a promise. So by doing Roman versus The Rock, you'll go from having 3 massive stars before WrestleMania 40 to 0, because 2 of them will be physically gone and 1 of them will be spiritually gone. Rolling out the red carpet for The Rock means all the intriguing long-term stories WWE is telling right now, with Damian Priest's Money in the Bank, The Bloodline, and Cody Rhodes finishing the story, would have to be put on hold for one night. Is that the WWE you want to go back to? In 2012 and 2013, I was all for The Rock doing business with John Cena. WWE was in the pay-per-view era where their buy rate depended on the main event of WrestleMania. WWE's ratings were down, WWE by their own fault did not have anybody on Cena's level at the time, and they had not created any new stars. They were reliant on part-timers, so they needed The Rock to make a splash and give more mainstream attention to all those full-time stars who just weren't getting over. In 2023, WWE pretty much is mainstream. The ratings are up. They have created new stars. The brand is bigger than any one wrestler, and they leverage that brand to make billions in TV money and a blockbuster merger. They have the kings of Hollywood running the company now. They don't need anybody to spike a pay-per-view number. Bringing in The Rock would be a greedy decision to split hairs and grab at an extra couple of dollars that they do not need. Worse yet, they'd be doing so at the expense of a future that is already bright. I love The Rock. I hope he does come back for a match at WrestleMania 40. Pray for his Achilles. But against Austin Theory, Grayson Waller, or better yet, both, alongside LA Knight. Have The Rock lose to Roman Reigns at Royal Rumble if you have to. Hell, have Cody Rhodes beat Roman Reigns for the title so The Rock and Roman can go off and feud over the tribal beads. That's cool. But the days of needing The Rock for a WrestleMania main event are done, whether WWE realizes that or not. John Cena wasn't too big to work the undercard of a WrestleMania, neither is The Rock. Leave the main event to the current main eventers. Go ask AEW how bending over backwards to cater to an aging legend worked out for their business long term. In fact, I have a whole playlist about that here. Should The Rock face Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 40 in his 50s? Tell me in the comments!